Hello, Francesca Canzano-Franklin here, ambassador, global ambassador of Hong Kong. And today I have the beautiful pleasure of talking to the one and only Victoria Sardain, founder and CEO of Teiah Hospitality, involved in hospitality wellness, a consultant, a speaker, and Victoria, tell us more. Where are you based? Let's start with this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Great. Good point. Good question. I'm actually based in Bangkok. Our company is based in Hong Kong, or registered in Hong Kong, but I'm myself mostly out of Bangkok with a few dips in Europe regularly.
Beautiful. That's the life. That's where you want to be. That's where wellness comes from. Today is the first series of 2026. It is called the In Wellness Conversation. You're one of the beautiful wellness expert and professional as part of the series. And every year I ask each professional, what does wellness mean to you personally? And then eventually, how do you involve it within your teams, within your work, within your family? Anything you'd like to tell us?
Yeah. So I think wellness, what it means to me, more and more so to me, wellness means more about coming back, returning to more of yourself. And what I mean by that, maybe with a few different examples, is I feel like in our modern day world, we're moving so potentially far away from how we have evolved to live and what we actually seek out of our life, that I think this coincides with this growth towards seeking more wellness because people are seeking to return to their more natural state.
Of course.
And so kind of some, let's say, basic examples that highlight this is, we see a big growth towards like nervous system regulation, right? It's because we know intrinsically that we are not made to be wired 24/7 and
Very much
to
so.
feel this sense of urgency constantly. And ultimately, what we found ourselves is moving towards finding that regulation because we know that that is where we need to be.
Totally.
Similarly, in a kind of opposite way, we're also finding ourselves looking for more challenge, whether it be through contrast therapy, through fasting, through sports,
Yeah.
right? We're seeking that because we're not also built to go through those moments of challenge. We're not built to live in this kind of comfort crisis of 23-degree air conditioning. So
Absolutely.
I
100%.
think wellness brings us more to our roots, and that's what it means to me.
That's beautiful. You and I had a similar conversation a few months ago. You'll tell us later about your podcast, which I think is absolutely divine. You bring out all these subjects about fitness, beauty, wellness, but you touch on something beautiful here, nervous system regulation. It is a word that has been flying around the wellness trends and so on, but you explained it beautifully. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Joy Magenta is at the center of Global Wellness Day 2026. It can be joy of movement, joy of throughout creativity or connectivity, and so on. What does bring joy to you, or what would you release, let go in order to bring more joy within your lifestyle?
I love that that's the topic for this year because I feel like wellness centers so much around optimization that sometimes we forget the fact that stress is the biggest culprit of
Yeah,
our, of our kind of health crisis at the moment. And so for me, I think a huge center of joy is community. And something that I think we sometimes sideline is the fact that the community takes effort. It's something that you have to,
yeah.
you have to kind of work towards it. And a quote that I heard recently that stuck with me so much, and it sounds a little bit negative, but it's that inconvenience is the price you pay for community. Because it's inconvenient to go pick up your friend from the airport. It's inconvenient to answer the phone when you're busy. It's inconvenient to stop and chat with your neighbor when you have a taxi waiting downstairs and you're late.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's the inconveniences that build the community that ultimately bring the joy.
Cool.
And going back to what we said about, wellness being coming back to our roots, we are a social species. We are built to be together. We
Very
are
much.
built every part of the way that our brain is wired, our physiology is wired, is built to be community.
So
And to me, that brings me joy. And I think that sometimes in this, very connected but highly disconnected world, we forget that in-person interaction brings us joy.
That's absolutely beautiful. You see, I had a little bit of fear this year of asking about joy because of what's happening around us. But every single expert that I've been talking to, even behind the scenes, said, like, no, look at it in a different way. So I really, really appreciate what you bring into the table today. It's stunning. It's important for all of us to start looking around and to go, like, it's not just a gimmicky word. It's not just wellness or just joy, but actually, this is bringing us together. Thank you, Victoria. In terms of Global Wellness Day, will you be celebrating this year? Where will you be? Do you have anything planned? Or do you plan to attend in Thailand? Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I think Global Wellness Day is such a great opportunity to discover new things and
Mm.
to discover new places. You know, everyone opens their doors, hosts different events, and I think that that's the joy of it, and the opportunity, right? So I will most probably be here, and I will really take it as an opportunity to discover new places that I maybe don't usually go to, partake in events where I can meet new people, discover new practitioners, and to me, that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Absolutely. I will make sure to tag Global Wellness Day Thailand in our podcast, in our conversation, and then they will be released in events all over the country. And Thailand, I must say, they do such an amazing job every year. Belgin herself, the founder of Global Wellness Day, very often she's a Chiva Som with Global Wellness Day. So you never know, you may have a way of meeting her. She's divine. And finally, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I think for me, it's one of the best questions. Do you have any advice, anything that you could share with us via yourself or via your company, Teiah Hospitality? Tell us.
Goodness, advice. I mean, I always think that wellness ultimately comes down to your own personal wellness comes down to knowing yourself, to knowing where you're at, what you need. And unless you know yourself, you can't find that out. And I think that taking a step back and finding those places, maybe it be with retreats, maybe it be moments with a practitioner or whatnot, it can give you the perspective to take a step out of your life and to have a more kind of further away viewpoint of where you're at and what it is that you need. So I would always say, don't hesitate to take that step back. Sometimes it feels like our lives are too busy to do that. But in the end, taking that step back to reflect, to understand what it is that you need, where your mental health is at, where your physical health is at, that's always, in the end, such a big investment for anything that you're looking forward to afterwards.
Beautiful. Absolutely love this. Well, thank you for being part of our wellness podcast. To everyone following us and listening to us, Global Wellness Day. This year we're celebrating our 15th anniversary, and the date to save is Saturday, June 13th. Victoria, thank you so much. You and I will need to carry on this conversation on more podcasts and in wellness conversation during the year. And you have a beautiful evening in Bangkok. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Bye.
so much, Francesca.